Okay, welcome.
Welcome to another Quantum Conversation. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery.
Beautiful hearts. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We invite you to open your heart into the light of Source Energy God, the creator beings, here with my guest, Alicia Power. And we're talking about when God chooses to lift humanity. This is a beautiful topic and a beautiful conversation with Alicia Power. Hi, Alicia. Thank you so much for being here. It's always so good to see you again. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me again, Loren. It's always such a treat. It's always such a treat to be in the presence of you, your audience, and these creator beings who just come, who arrive. Such a treat.
It's
Thank
such
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we, for those who are new to the creator beings, we're going to learn a little bit more about them. There's so many questions that come up, but these are high level spirit tutors. Nothing to be concerned or afraid about. In fact, Alicia is going to share other things to be concerned or aware of. But the creator beings, for those of us who are working with their energy, their guidance, we have a protocol that Elisa shares. She'll share it again, and it really does help. It helps calm the nervous system. That's what I find interesting. And that's just a tangible instance to feel right here, right now. But when we really do the work, we lay down, we can call them, call on those creator beings, we can feel so much more than just the nervous system calming down. There's actually they're doing almost like etheric surgery, right, Alicia? What do you have to
hmm
say about this as we start? And then I'll let you give your beautiful discourse for today.
Mm. So, because I've been an energy healer and partnering with the worlds of spirit for over 30 years, and partnering with these particular overseer levels of the worlds of spirit, I'm really open to their energy. And when I come on a call like this and they are going to be presenting through me, their energy comes through my aura. And because in the quantum world, there's a scientific principle called non-locality. You can Google it. It means that there's no time and space. Their energy connects with your energy as you're looking at me, because their energy has mingled and merged with my auric field. Their auric field, my auric field have mingled for so many years that it's like a fire hose. And in terms of their light, their energy, and coming through and connecting with your energy. So it's a beautiful moment of not just me talking, but their energy connecting with your energy. And as an energy healer, as someone who um, has been taught by the worlds of spirit to look into the energy fields and to be a conduit for teams of spirit technicians to go in and support somebody else's aura, to electromagnetically rewire your aura so that you change, so that you shift, so that your base of your consciousness lifts. Um, as someone who's done that for over 34 years, I think now. Oh, what was I going to say? Where was I going there? Yeah, you get affected by that energy. It's something. It's like plasticine that when their consciousness, which is light, uh, starts to connect with yours, certainly the nervous system starts to relax. But that's because all of your electromagnetic waveforms are being touched by these spirit technicians, by this level of light beings who have got a force with them, a force of intention, a force of attention. So where their attention is, right, it connects, it touches. and there's instant upgrade, you could say. So everybody here hanging out with me today, as we're just marinating together in this light, you're going to be upgraded just automatically, just because you're soaking, we're all soaking in a downpour, in a waterfall of this light anyway, like being in their presence today. I always talk about auric fitness. If somebody's a healer and a Reiki practitioner, or pranic healing, or any of those beautiful energy healing practices and modalities, they are interfacing with spirit teams that are playing with them, that are supporting them in that moment when energy is being worked, subtle energy. And that interface with the worlds of spirit, there are so many different types and teams, so many different teams of spirit beings that support you. Anyway, so the worlds of spirit, energy healing, it's a fascinating topic. It's a rabbit hole we can dive into some other day a little bit more, because I've just got this really deep experience of watching the worlds of spirit for over 3 decades. So yeah, and the guys that I play with now and have, for over that time, are very elevated. I was passed up when I first started channeling. It was the Ascended Masters. It was so many different types of beings. And then I got tapped on the shoulder, and these overseers of universes, very elevated, presented themselves to me as my primary inner teacher, my primary inner trainer. I call them mentors, spirit mentors. Mentoring. Oh my God. Recently, they've done this huge series of lectures on mentoring, and how mentoring is the status quo in the worlds of spirit, that there's layers and layers and layers, like a pyramid scheme of just the way everything is structured in the worlds of spirit, and beings above mentor those below them, just in this beautiful layering structure. It's just amazing. So mentoring, these guys are mentors, and these high elevated creator beings, which is their term, oversee universes. Some people are really sophisticated in that kind of, what would you call it? Just the way that's being described. And other people, you're hearing it for the first time. Like, isn't there just one universe, right? There's this physical universe. Hey, and then there's the spirit universe. That's why you're here on this call. But hey, there are multiple spirit universes. And and I have the funny feeling that this may be the only universe that is precipitated into a physical dimension, where that spirit universe, that quantum energetic universe, has precipitated into a physical experience, into a physical universe, where we're hanging out, sitting in our spacesuits as souls, looking at each other. I have the feeling we're the only universe. And and I'm being told to say it's a sort of an extreme experiment. Excuse me, I just got to clear my throat. An extreme experiment where these teams and layers and layers and echelons of the worlds of spirit are all watching how, as spirit beings that we are, as souls that we are, how we're operating inside this physical universe. How are we managing it? And so they're watching. So I get the funny feeling, it's, and they are asking me to say, I'm just online with them instantaneously. They're asking me to say that they have their hands on the background plasticine of this entire physical universe, because the truth is that there is only energy, there's only quantum energy, of course, and the background morphogenic fields are being controlled. They want to launch really quickly into something they want to say, which is that there are factions in the background fields. this particular spirit universe was designed with a dynamic of several different forces, and one of the dominant forces, excuse me, is of course God light, if you could say spirit light, and another force, excuse me, is the lack of light. So a vacuum where there is no light. And these two forces move together, and like oil and water, two very different forces, but they're kind of designed to work together. This was the original dynamic in the spirit universe. And excuse me, it's very cold here today. And just kind of rolling out quickly, just the story. Most people here already understand this, but I'm just starting just from the very first kind of premises of how everything works. Those two forces, right? It's so interesting to know that they were designed to work together. You guys all know this. It was designed as a gift to source of self-reflection, of choices, free will, to trigger choice. But just the way these two forces work together, one of those forces became really dominant. And one of the reasons why it became dominant is because it had part of its structure, the way it was designed, or the way it just was, its role, its software programming. And so there's no judgment on it. It's just a software programming, right? Just the way it's designed, was to go after light and try and hurt it, you could say, or touch it in a way that causes discomfort. And then light has an opportunity to notice the discomfort and choose and notice that it doesn't like it, and then choose something that it really prefers. And so in that kind of little muscle movement right there in that trigger is the overarching, these are the words that these guys are giving me to say, is the overarching power of this universe. And this was supposed to be wrapped up in a great big red ribbon and given to God's source in the beginning, that moment of free will. I just want to say for all of us, there cannot be enough moments like this where someone says to you, the entire reason of your existence is these moments of decision, of relaxing in a moment of fear. Relaxing in a moment of fear, wow, that's just like two opposites, two contrasts. For someone to kind of screech to a halt, freeze frame everything, and say to you, your entire setup is that. That's your entire setup. That is everything that's going on in your life, second by second. And they're telling me to say, huge teams of your mentors in the worlds of spirit are observing the circuitry, are observing the entire circuit board of your consciousness, and noticing how that's going, how that's working. So it's almost mechanical, you could say. And many of us know that if we are so deliberate in our practices of sticking our attention into something of love, of light, calm, beauty, doing practices, and keeping our energy formatted, like almost mechanical, formatted. I'm just slowing everything down, formatted so it stays comfortable. So you stay comfortable in your deep unconscious, in your conscious self, in your heart, open, comfortable. This is a word they use a lot, by the way, the worlds of spirit. Just for those of you who don't know me, I talk really clearly with the worlds of spirit. So they use some words, excuse me, really deliberately, and one of them is comfortable. And that means everything is relaxed. Everything's comfortable. So that so they're saying that it's a mechanical thing. If we use our practices, if we every single day are really deliberate with doing that, because as a funnel, it leads us to a moment of relaxation and the ability to feel what we prefer. The ability to notice the discomfort and then choose openness rather than closeness. Such simple stuff, mechanics. I'm just talking about this really, really slowly, right? Point by point. And for some reason, they really, really want to just put their finger on that dynamic, on that little dynamic, because it's everything. It's like what the whole universe is about. And then there's a kind of a backstory where that software of what's called that which is not light has become quite dominant in this universe, in this particular spirit universe, because it was just designed to create that discomfort, to sort of poke light and to kind of, well, to cause discomfort. And the backstory is that, unfortunately, over a long, long, long period of time in the worlds of spirit, that software created, excuse my throat today. Oh my goodness. It created like a scar tissue. It created almost like it's set up a place for itself, really strategically, but almost like a permanent dynamic of its dominance. I'm just describing something really huge. Our logic's trying to, you're listening to me, and we're talking about the vast spirit worlds and all of the layers in the spirit world and this primary dynamic that was initially designed for this spirit universe. Because it's the way everything is set up. And over time, it kind of concreted in the way that it was operating, which was that it was forcing light into what they're calling eddies, or sort of force fields, where light had to defend itself against big layers of what I'll call shadow energy. In the worlds of spirit, everybody, because the worlds of spirit is the glue, is creating everything. See, we look out here in our complicated physical world. It's so complicated. Our private lives are complicated. The politics is complicated. And I'm here because I've stuck my attention into the worlds of spirit for so long. I'm here to tell you that it's all about the spirit world. The spirit world is puppeteering absolutely everything, every atom. It's puppeteering. And for a lot of humanity, the spirit world is puppeteering our thoughts and humanity's thoughts and humanity's intention and humanity's actions and their decisions. A lot. And I'm going to be a little bit radical, just deviate a little bit quickly to say even our higher decisions are prompted by our spirit mentors, gently nudged, gently guided by our spirit mentors. So
the spirit world, let me interject. The spirit world is puppeteering. This could be malevolent and benevolent.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean, right? So malevolent, but also our higher decisions in our life. And
Wow.
every day there are teams of spirit mentors. I think I mentioned this in a talk just recently, a week or so ago. These beings were saying that they actually mentor quite actively. They're telling me right now the decision-making deep in our hearts, for us to fulfill our dreams and the dreams of our soul. So they are coming in underneath and behind and giving us the nudges, giving us a sense or a feeling to get over a hesitation or a doubt, to become active on a project or on a direction, to make the yes decision towards something. Everyone. So when I even did a YouTube video on this, actually, just recently, they are in our mind and they are, yeah, very active. Now, you can also say that malevolent, the spirit world that's malevolent, is causing a lot of the chaos, of course, that's just happening globally in our own personal lives and relationships. That's a huge story. It's true. It is true. So the worlds of spirit are behind every atom and are walking along with humanity, malevolent or benevolent. So the world of spirit, it's a big subject and it's an important subject and it does need to be talked about. And people do need to know that this is real. And there are times when we might be lying in bed just going to sleep thinking, there's going to be a time when I pass back into the worlds of spirit. This is a lifetime, but there's going to be a moment where I pass back into the worlds of spirit. And what I'm looking at here and taking for granted that it just goes on forever, this physical dimension, it doesn't. Everybody passes back into the worlds of spirit. And so I know it's a shock, isn't it? Like there are some beautiful spiritual religions, spiritual practices that put full focus on that moment of passing over and making sure you're actually thinking about it during your life, because it makes you be present. It makes you love every moment, right? So there's a really important sort of discussion here to be had that's real and it's a positive thing, so that you sort of get with the program, get with your soul's program here while you're still breathing in your spacesuit. I'm just going to pause and just notice what these beautiful overseer creator beings want to say about this, because this is the kind of just preambling and setting a stage and creating a picture in our minds of what's really going on in the worlds of spirit and in humanity and how everything's rolling out. Like we're looking at things rolling out globally, in our lives, whatever, just every day, picking up, not the newspaper anymore, but whatever, watching the news. So they want to say that this world is puppeteered. This world is puppeteered, everyone. It's one of the reasons why when I turned around inside myself and decided to start talking to the worlds of spirit, there was a profound knowledge, realization in me that this was the most important skill in this lifetime for me, because not only do they just help you in your life, but they're running everything. They're running the entire movie. So it's good to have friends in high places, to have really good mentors, spirit mentors, to ensure that you develop into your highest potential, everyone. Because they can move the plasticine, they can puppeteer the background energies and puppeteer your movie screen and puppeteer your decisions. And a lot of you looking at me right now are going, hey, aren't I sovereign? It's the big thing in the New Age circles and the spiritual development circles. Oh my God, I'm sovereign. Yeah, but if you look into an energy field, if you look into the electromagnetic fields, everything is merged. Everything is transmissions and transmitting, and osmosis is taking place constantly with the worlds of spirit. The edges of where you start and finish, are very blurred with the worlds of spirit, with your mentors. They're stepping in and out of your auric field all the time, all the time. So sovereignty, right? You go, well, humph, I'm the one who's making my decisions. I'm the one that's drilling down into my heart, dropping down into my heart and feeling my heart, quote unquote. What is that? Right? It's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of profoundly beautiful, shimmering electromagnetic force fields that are holding memory. What is your heart? Right? What is that? It's an organ, but the you that's feeling where you're putting your attention in the quantum world, your attention is your only instrument. It's like a torch. So when you put your attention onto your heart, you are reading, it's like reading a book and pages in a book. You're reading one page of a big book because there are nearly unlimited dimensions in your heart chakra, unlimited layers in those fabrics, right? In that portal of your energy structure, layers and layers. It's like a library that travels through all of your incarnations and pre-incarnations before you even were a human as a soul. It's all sitting there as memory. This is not just a one-size-fits-all. This is not just a simple moment where you feel your heart, because your attention, that torch, is touching one or two or three of those layers, but that's it, of a very, very big, nearly unlimited cache of memory. So you're not alone as you walk and talk. Your huge force fields that you are, just in case you didn't know, you are those waves of energy. That's more you than your physical body, than all the chemicals and physical structures of your body, which fall away when you pass over and you regain, and you are that light body. That's what you are. That's your permanent self. Okay, everyone? I have to sort of talk about those basic points. That's very, very important, just that everybody's with us on this. That's what's looking out through your eyes. So sovereignty is a moot point from the point of view of the mechanics of what you are and how the spirit world interacts with you. Sovereignty, who's prompting your thoughts? Is it you? Or is it a huge electromagnetic field that's sidled up to you that is one of your spirit mentors and is helping you at any moment to feel your heart, helping you, assisting you to put your attention down into your heart, and then amplifying that for you, and then dropping in a little knowing, like pure subliminal transmission into you for you to open the heart, but also to put your focus on something and to create a thought train towards a decision. What sovereignty, you see? So in the worlds of spirit, there's a lot of merging. There's a lot of interactions that our logic can't keep up with, can't see. Just letting everybody know that this is just the structure of how everything works. It's the base from what everything works. And here we go. Here's the the segue. These creator beings are just going, okay, and let's get on with what we want to say, which is having preambled all that, everyone, like, I'm just helping your logical mind catch up with the truth of how everything actually works. When we start talking about spirit technology and these spirit beings in the worlds of spirit who've got vast knowledge of the science of light waves, vast knowledge of how software codes are programmed into the light waves, traveling so high up in knowledge, in authority, in clout in the worlds of spirit. then you can start sort of learning a little bit about overseers, very high beings with huge clout, really high up in the layers of the worlds of spirit, and their capability of programming light and their decisions to rain, like rain, that light through all the layers of the worlds of spirit. And the software that's coming down from that light, embedded in that light that's coming down, and starting to connect with us like we are now because they're here and they're vibrating and resonating, and it's connecting with your vibrating auric field right now too and downloading into you. Not something to be afraid of, but because it's benevolent, it's uplifting. I just want to just quickly say where they're going is that they have an agenda, excuse me, to definitely, seriously, competently, with a lot of commitment, upgrade the collective of humanity. They've got the capability of doing it. Remember that there are many hands on the plasticine of what we're saying is a physical, solid reality, what we're looking at in our lives. When we open our eyes, everything seems really solid. For them, it's just plasticine. And there's many hands on that in the background in the spirit world, controlling. They're telling me and showing me it's like huge rivers of currents flowing and roaring like an out of control flooded river, like huge force. That's an amazing analogy, I have to say. You know how you can imagine a flooded river, like with the massive weight of the water coming down a river. They're saying that kind of currents of energy are flowing in the background fields. They're being controlled by teams of spirit beings, malevolent and benevolent, both. Different kinds of currents of light, currents of shadow. And because all of that kind of dynamic and pushing against each other has been happening for eons, all of it jockeying for sort of dominant control, you could say, of the plasticine that's creating the physical dimension. This is true, everyone. You guys are all growing up listening to this. Deborah's saying, no wonder I'm so tired. Yes. And we're all here, honestly, we're like little radar dishes because we're sensitive. We are souls that have come from very high light, incarnated, and we're feeling it like radar dishes. We're feeling all the pushing and shoving in those background fields. Giving you guys like a huge overview, just quickly, a snapshot, like a really big overview. So you're kind of getting a picture. And this is why these creator beings have arrived, you could say, 34 years ago, tapped me on the shoulder. Many people work with the creator beings now. It's not just me. But they've taught me, and they've taught many other people, and I've invited many other people to do this, to instruct them. Free will zone down here. So they had to teach me to invite them, to instruct them, so that they've got permission to come in. And they want to say this, which is their agenda. Everyone on the edge of your seats listening to this, their agenda, remember, they've got quite high clout, like really high clout. This particular team, really high up. Their agenda is to drop their software encoded light down to touch the entire collective of humanity. And that particular light has got the power to, like a domino effect, inside every individual's electromagnetic field. The software begins to run its program. And one of the effects of that is a shake-up. It's like jiggling. It's like shaking a jar of coins. It's like making lots of clattering noises and, yeah, shaking things up. That's one of the effects of that software program when it's touched the whole of humanity, is to kick out the dust, is to, like a pneumatic drill, just break up the concrete and kick it out. And so that individuals, but humanity as a collective, to see what that concrete is, what that dust is, what the fear is, to have a look at it. Because, full circle to what I was saying right at the beginning, remember that choice point of discomfort and comfort? That the software of that which is not light is designed as a software, as a program, to create discomfort. Like a pebble in your shoe, or like a 4x2. So as a collective, they're doing this on that collective scale, breaking up the concrete, bringing the concrete up to the surface, so that as a collective, this is the point, everybody goes, okay, this is fear. This is the texture of fear. And as a collective, to say, we don't need that. We don't want that. Choice. It's a moment of choice. The entire universe was designed for it. And the creator beings are going, guys, big moments, nth moments, tipping points, big moments for the collective of humanity. We're here in our personal lives, individual lives, dealing with our own choices right through our day, subliminally, consciously, pushing up against challenges, pushing up against our own doubts and hesitations inside of ourselves, pushing up against that and noticing how we react from that moment of hesitation, from that moment of doubt. And then they're talking about a global moment of doubt, a global moment of hesitation, a global noticing of how we move from that point. And the big thing they want to say alongside of this, everyone, again, on the edge of our seats, let's listen to this, is they have the capability, and they're telling me to say this, they have the capability to soften that moment of fear so that as a collective, humanity, this really is true, that they have their hands on the plasticine of physical reality. And they're saying they have the ability to soften that moment of where we're noticing fear, the texture of fear. It's like a substance. We're noticing it all as a collective. And they've got the ability to just calm that moment down so that as a collective, like almost like one person, one being, the collective of humanity, has the ability, because it's a little bit softened, to make the decision from a calmer place to choose that higher decision rather than the lower decision, to succumb to the fear, to choose the higher, stronger decision towards light, towards love, towards empowerment, towards a higher choice point, you guys know, a higher timeline, a higher parallel reality, parallel universe, to move towards that. So that's really significant. And for you guys as an audience listening to me, you go, hey, Alicia, it's your reality. You're playing with these spirit beings. Why should we believe you? Put it up on a shelf and go, yeah, that's interesting, and get on with your life. It really doesn't matter because these guys are puppeteering this anyway. So it's just that I've seen them work, and I've seen them rewire humans for 30 plus years, rewire my consciousness every day. I watch humans in front of me change instantly. My brain changes instantly when they rewire it. I just understand how they can rewire things like fast in the energy worlds. And that's the map of the physical world. So the physical world changes. They have their hands on the wiring, on the background plasticine. So what that's saying is that it's almost like creating a plaster, you know, like a cocoon of softness around a moment of decision making and of choice. And as we, everybody, I'm sure all of you, I don't know if you are, but watching these ricocheting dynamics on the global stage that are happening at the moment, just bang, bang. It's like a pinball machine. It's just traveling like this, like crazy decision making, and everybody's trying to understand what's happening, what the motivations are, where this is going. So there's so much confusion in our conscious logical mind. And what these guys are saying is that there is a force that can puppeteer and really deliberately push humanity into moments of decision making. And it's almost like creating a force field, that's the right word, so that everything lifts and so that decision making, even collectively, is higher. And what's quite extraordinary, I do want to say, is that we as humans hardly notice the lift because it's done, I have to tell you this, seamlessly so that humanity feels like it's making its own decisions. So what I'm saying is that when we walk with the worlds of spirit, when we live our lives, the worlds of spirit are accompanying us. Our mentors are accompanying us. And moments where we make choices that can change our life are puppeteered moments. And these spirit mentors support that moment, rewire that moment, manufacture that moment where your life changes, where you make a life-changing decision about something in such a way that you feel like it was your own decision. That's their law. It's LORE law, and it's LAW, it's their law. They just abide by that because it's a free will zone. But these guys are masters at the plasticine behind, right, of the physical dimension and of consciousness. So they completely honor that sovereignty, the free will, and they assist it, they help it. And then I'm talking about these overseer beings who are doing that on a collective global scale. They're doing it in a way where humanity feels like it made its own decision. And they're doing it in a way that's puppeteered and designed so that it feels natural. It feels, well, it just happened. It just happened. So we don't see the background puppeteering, the moving of the plasticine behind the reality. We don't see that. So what I'm saying is it's seamless. There's a seamless movement into a higher parallel universe, into a higher timeline. That's a little element that just has to be added there. And those of us who play in the worlds of spirit, we can sniff the hallmarks of the touch from behind. It's a beautiful term, the touch from behind, from our mentors of love and light. We can subtly notice the support. It's like a plasma of support, force field of support. So I just want to thank you, everyone who's watching this and listening to this, for your attention on this. It's an incredible conversation. It's an incredible sort of discussion that's happening here right now because I'm a telepath. I'm 100% clear with the worlds of spirit. They're talking me right now. This is information directly from them. And that's why it's an incredibly intimate discussion for us as humans listening to this, not for us to become powerless towards the worlds of spirit, and to honor our sovereignty, to honor the mechanism of free will, because they do, they honor it. They don't come around the front and stand in front of you and saying, we're going to take it away from you. No, they never do that. There's always permission, there's always request. When I'm working with them, with an individual working with an auric field, they're constantly asking me for permission. Can we do this? Shall we do that now? Is that okay? Right? Constantly asking me for permission. So permission is massive for them. It's like it's an ultimate priority for them. But it's such an intimate conversation because they're letting us know that they are real. Their hands on this whole thing is real. We're kind of happy because we're feeling their support and we're hearing about their support. And then our logical mind's going, hey, but what about free will and sovereignty? But at the same time, we know that we're in trouble. Humanity's in kind of like a whirlpool in the middle of the ocean. There's a force that's pulling us downwards. And we're needing a very strong hand to pull us up. Around about this time. There's so many dynamics involved. There's astrological dynamics, there's geophysical dynamics, there's space weather dynamics, like so many influences on humanity. And then there's influence from the worlds of spirit, and then there's influence from overseers from the worlds of spirit, like really high up with a huge cloud. Many different dynamics. And so the conversation today is coming from those really high guys, from the very high guys, and their capability of coming in to this game. And just watch my hands, guys. Watch this. And moving realities from behind. It's kind of like a plasma architectural matrix, right? And they're just moving it. So that's their capability. They're saying to me they do that a lot, unbeknownst to humanity. And they're telling me to say, humanity needs a ramp out. It needs a lift up and out. And they're serious about offering that, very serious. This is a big message that they've got for all of us today. They want us to not so much just listen with our logic, but get a feeling, get a kind of sense that this is a presence. It's real, and they are present, they are real, and they've got their hands on this. So this is one of their big agendas for us listening to this today, that, oh my gosh, I can actually lean back on this presence from them. And to them, that's a really big thing because that helps our nervous system calm down a little bit subliminally, right? We don't realize how aggravated we are deep down on a nervous system subliminal level with everything that's going on. So for us to notice that there is something else guiding realities helps the nervous system. And I just want to check to see if there's anything else, an addendum that they've got. Won't be a moment. So they want to say something just really quickly. They want to add just something just quickly here. And that is that they want to just really quickly, lightly, just touch on the topic of malevolent spirit world, because it's part of the equation, part of the forces that are moving. Won't be a moment. So they're saying in the worlds of spirit, there are many levels, and there are many species and communities. Oops. Species and communities and types of spirit communities. And these species of communities, species like real, I'm talking about real species, um, so many layers and so much interaction from the back end with humanity of many of these spirit communities, whether it's benevolent and whether it's malevolent. So much interaction with humanity, so much the light teams are trying to support, the malevolent teams are trying to shut down our light, shut down our ability to feel and be empathic, trying to freeze our heart chakras, shut the gates on them so that you can't feel, you can't notice what somebody else is needing or feeling. All of this is psychic mechanics, everyone. Won't be a second, just catching up with what they were saying here. Anyway, they're saying it's a zoo. It's a zoo out there, really, in the world of spirit, I tell you. It's a zoo. And we walk a path of resilience as a light soul, a soul of light inside this human personality and this human body looking out through our eyes. We walk a path of resilience against constant interaction from the worlds of spirit, both sides, shadow and light. Resilience to maintain our light, resilience to maintain our connection to our heart, resilience to remember that we are a soul of light. And in a way, that is the pledge that you made as a soul before you incarnated into this human realm. You made a pledge to remember that you are a soul of light, no matter what. That's the job, that's the work that you're doing every single moment, every single day, to maintain a connection to your self-love, to your self-respect, to your self-realization as being a soul of light and love. That's your job, of course. And the conversation that these beings are wanting to have right now is that, yeah, it is a zoo in the worlds of spirit. If you did open your psychic eyes and took a look into the soup of energy around you, there's all kinds of species of spirit beings wanting to connect with you and influence you, really, truly. This is a big message. It's not a comfortable message. This is why we subliminally struggle. This is why we subliminally can't heal emotional wounds, say, from childhood. Because there are patches of software, I can call it, but also I can say that there are species of beings lodged in your auric structure, in your energy scaffolding, lodged and holding trauma in place and holding the resonances of emotion in place, holding them. So there's all kinds of technologies being used from the worlds of spirit to stop you remembering your light. And the reason why these spirit beings are even talking about this right now is to help you understand that fortunately or unfortunately, this is a truth. It's a truth. It's a mechanical truth almost. It's not something to argue about. Because light workers go, oh, let's do our shadow work. I've talked about this over the years. Let's do our shadow work, light workers say. And they go to therapy, which I have done 30 years ago. I've done a lot of therapy, and they start to find their wounds and learn how to become empowered around their wounds. But now as an energy healer, I understand what else is sitting in there, in the scaffolding of your energy field, which is holding the wounds. And if that's not dealt with, the software stays there. Needs to be pulled out by technicians, by spirit technicians, and replaced with new software, with a whole new vibrating consciousness decision of self-love to be put back in that spot. That is what needs to happen. So it's a reality. The worlds of spirit are populated by both factions, and they're both interacting with you. So this is an important reality and truth, that as you walk and talk through your day, if you understand that, you're more clever, you're smarter about the way you see what's going on for yourself and what you see in people around you. You're smarter about that. It's very important, everyone. It's not about, oh, I just want to ignore that and just stay happy. It's important to open a book and start reading. I'm talking figuratively, metaphorically. Open a book, start reading about the facts of what's real, of what really is going on. And I'm talking metaphorically, right? You don't need to buy a book and read it. But I'm just quietly saying to you, this is what is happening in the worlds of spirit. This is what you're walking in the quantum suit every single day. It's what's interacting with you. Now, the reason I'm saying that is for you to grow up and mature around you as a spirit being and how the spirit world works. And it's going to help you become empowered in a smarter way, where you're sort of more clearer about the truth of how you're managing your consciousness and how anyone around you is managing their consciousness. It's taking the blinders off. None of this is to fall in a puddle of fear and feel disempowered. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about getting empowered. Getting empowered, everyone. Just really quickly, it's one of the reasons 35 years ago I started to teach people how to talk to the worlds of spirit, because it's the worlds of spirit that can see what's going on inside of your energy field. They're the master technicians. They can go in and clean your auric field. That's what I've been teaching. It's like, it's really important from my point of view to have partnerships, to have a highway to your spirit mentors, so that your spirit mentors, they're 1,000,000% committed to you, 1,000,000%, that they can come in constantly and just rearrange and repattern and reconfigure your auric field so that you stay balanced, in harmony, and in self-love. So that partnership is just beyond critical. It's just so important. Conscious partnership, where you're chatting with them, where you are watching them work with you. I've got a part of my special offer is, just really quickly, hey, Lorraine, I'm moving into the special offer, is a beautiful collection of spirit journeys, I call them, where you stand in front of an incredible master spirit technician and they reach into your auric field with very targeted, each one of them's targeted for different things, to rewire you on that topic. One of them is, oh, I'm just going to get into it. Let's go. Let me just find it here. Yeah. One of them's called Uplift on Light. This is the collection of 7 incredible, powerful, beautiful segue into this, talking about the special offer. It's called Uplift on Light, auric healings, rewirings, beautiful auric technicians. Just really quickly, I'll go through the 7 different focuses of these amazing, powerful initiations, activations. The first one is the rewiring of beliefs, painful beliefs from past lives. This is a very powerful one, where when you're standing in front of your master spirit technician in that spirit journey, they will locate, and if you repeat this, each time they will locate a different one. Okay. they will locate an important past life wound that is still connecting with you, bleeding into your subliminal self and causing hesitations, causing doubt, right? Very powerful. A 33-minute spirit journey and deep rewiring. The second one is where they target your ability to self-love. They will scan, as you're standing in front of your spirit master technician, they will scan your soul history and they will find some deep wounds in your soul history and rewire them permanently, right? Because that creates a different platform inside of yourself of the way you even see yourself and the way you feel about yourself, the way you even think about yourself. Rewiring. And all of these are to be repeated because every time something different is worked on in your auric field. Number 3 of these 7 is, release of heart, fear, and heart weariness. And a lot of this is to do with deep sadness in our heart chakras that everything is overwhelming. The global situation is overwhelming. Just accumulates heart weariness and sadness. And inside this particular spirit journey, standing in front of a master spirit technician, they're going to not only rewire you, but they're going to, what they call, do a reprieve or a forgiveness of something that's so deep inside your energy scaffolding of that's holding something really, really deep, a deep trauma. And that's why they have to reprieve it. There's many different technologies they use. One of them is a reprieve, when the rewiring would take too long and the rollout of the clearing would take too long. They just do a reprieve. They just close the gateways and do negotiations for your heart, so that your heart feels lighter. For those of you who aren't familiar with electromagnetic rewiring, it's a very real change that happens deep in your core, everyone. So your base changes from the springboard, from where you think, from where you feel. The fourth one is how you think about yourself. It's called self-image rewiring, meaning that it's the master spirit technician that you're standing in front of in the spirit journey. They start working with your ability to feel your power, and the way that you see yourself. Self-image, a little bit different to the self-love. This is more about how your prefrontal cortex, they love rewiring the prefrontal cortex, by the way. The way that you envision yourself and change. Can you imagine if you change the way that you envision yourself for your future, which nearly creates a whole new path, where you give yourself permission to walk a new path? Number 5 is these last 3, 5, 6, and 7 start getting really potent, like super potent. So number 5 is very unusual. When we pray, and I'm not talking about just sending a prayer to a vague God, right? I'm talking about there's kind of dynamics in prayer. And one of them is how much shadow energy is sitting in our auric field. It creates just this feeling of confusion or a feeling of sort of numbness. And if we're trying to pray through that, quite often the spirit world or the being that we're asking a prayer to can't even feel us. It's like oil and water. And this particular module, this particular one, number 5, is we set up a moment with incredible high angelic beings who've got the ability to make changes in your life, who've got the authority to. And in the spirit journey, there's processes until you stand in front of these very, very high beings of light. And there's a moment of stillness. So we architect that moment of stillness. And there's rewiring on the way to get there so that your auric field is clean, so that you're sitting in very deep presence with this being of light, and then you send your instruction, because they receive it clearly. The highway is open. So that moment is architected very carefully in this particular spirit journey, so that there's a very clear flow of your heart energy, your intention to this being, and they receive it very, very clearly. This is a thing in the worlds of spirit. Number 6, oh my goodness, core soul upgrade initiation. In this one, the worlds of spirit travel to the very instigation of your soul. This is an initiation, everyone. And they find, because trauma happened right at the very beginning, and it set the path for your soul trajectory. It's kind of like a pebble in the shoe, a little moment, a little touch. That is what they look at, and they rewire that. And that creates, it's so holy, it's so powerful. They create a change in that. And that sets off a whole different reaction path right through of your soul, the whole arc of your soul. It changes the springboard, not only of yourself as a human, but of your soul. I'm saying very big words here. I hope they're just dropping into you so that you hear what I'm saying. It's a very sacred collection, these. And the last one is called Creating Heaven, and it's called the most powerful activation. There's a moment of rewiring with sacred teams of spirit technicians where they literally lift your auric field into a higher plasma field, what they're calling heaven. It's a field of light. It's like picking you up and popping you into a higher timeline, into a higher parallel universe, into a higher frequency. That's what happens in number 7. As you can hear, they're very powerful initiations. So that collection's called Uplift on Light, and I just highly recommend everyone that you pop in there. Lorraine, shall I continue? There's also, if you would like, a collection of trainings on creator beings and who they are. Not only are these trainings, these are opportunities to travel into the worlds of spirit and to stand in front of the creator beings and be worked on, rewired by the creator beings. And you can imagine the kind of light software that gets exchanged and the speed with which you upgrade when you're soaked and infused and in very deep moments with the creator beings. So this is a collection, very powerful, trainings on how to work with them, understand who they are, background, who they are. One of the trainings in that collection, it's called Creator Being Acceleration. It's a collection. One of the trainings is how to instruct them for global change. Many people have let me know that that was so significant, that particular training for them. The kind of words to use, very specific instructions to use, how to be, how to direct your energy and your intention in that moment of instruction within. So all the how-to, the tools there in one of those. One of the modules in that particular one also is the creator beings talking about, it's the last module, how light and dark battle for this universe. So it's a whole discussion on that. The high story of your soul, how this reality manifests, who controls this universe. Amazing stuff in that module. So it's a very, very powerful walk through, and not just information, but you end inside every module, you get taken into places. What sort of word do we put on it? Places in the worlds of spirit with the creator beings, and interact with them and receive profound upgrades. So creator being acceleration, that's the other course. I guess I want to just check with these creator beings if they've got something else they want to just mention. We're about to do a beautiful process with them, by the way. We're about to actually travel into the worlds of spirit with our eyes closed and stand in front of a creator being in a moment. But before we do that, I just want to just check on what they might want to just say, if there's anything else they want to mention. They're just quickly wanting to say for everyone to remember that we're staring into a 3D experience, into a 3D world. Behind that, behind the scenes, is a spirit dimension. And what they really want everyone to understand is it's software. It's software. So it's made up of spirit beings. We're a spirit being. And as a spirit being, we are made up of software in our energy layers, in the light waves in our energy layers. All are embedded with software. This is the reason they're saying everything is software in the worlds of spirit. Our minds are used to hearing about software. We're used to it. And so they're using that term, that word, for us to realize that everything can be changed. This is a beautiful, important reality they want to convey. And as souls that are walking and talking as humans, that message that they're giving about software, everything is software, helps us feel a little bit more in control. Because if we've got the ear of the king, who understands the software and has got full force and power to change the software, then as humans or as souls sitting in our human bodies, where we can feel out of control for whatever reason, we know we can turn to the masters of the software. Everyone, this is the big message. And these beings who oversee our universe that have come in, these high overseer beings, these creator beings, they want to say they have an agenda. They're giving me a picture of like a big hand going whoosh through the whole universe, just shifting it, moving it back into a healthy dynamic where light is working correctly in a correct ratio to shadow, so that light is dominant. Um, so today was about helping you understand that they're real. They do have the clout. They do have the power. It's the good word, I guess, to do this work. They do. And they're real. And it's happening, whether we are aware of it or not. That's the big message. And whether you believe it or not is irrelevant. Loren.
Wow, this has been so vast that it really gives a full understanding. And yet the sovereignty piece, it tells us the importance of our decisions to stay committed to the light, to be aware of when we're feeling certain things that distract us, and to have the fortitude to go forward through any resistance that we might have. And it helps understand that. And again, we still have free will. It still feels like we're still here, but there's still the guidance that we're receiving. It's not a command, it's guidance, right? It's nudging. And so I choose to follow the nudge of love, the nudge. I follow that nudge. And then this conversation, this discussion has helped me realize how how it feels with the shadow. And so it just helps us make a clear decision, a clear choice, this or that. let's all go this way. Not to put it so tritely, right? But that the bigger picture that you've given us, wow, we are not alone. As we can sit and be maybe have go into despair and feel sad about something or whatever, and maybe feel alone. Wow, turn it instead to the spirit world of love, right? Okay, so do we want to do this journey? And it's only going to take a few moments, but this would be a beautiful experience now, Alicia. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Loren. I just love the way you synthesize and summarize beautifully. You know, you're just so good at that. So beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful role that you play doing that. Um, I'm just going, hey, everyone, how are you all feeling? For some of you, you might be thinking, oh, I've heard this so many times, you know, and these creator beings are saying yes, but every moment is fresh. And the
Mhm.
reason they are drumming this into us, if you've heard this a million times already, is even someone like me who's interacted with them over 3 decades loves hearing it in real time from them and loves their presence and their assurance and reassurance, because it's their presence that gives us the reassurance. We're about to stand in front of their presence right now. All right. Okay, everyone. Closing your eyes, we're going to travel. Taking a few deep breaths. Oh, I feel like thanking all of our mentors, our spirit mentors, for this day, for this moment where we're alive, we're breathing, we have the ability to feel, we have the ability to be our human selves here in this moment. It's a gift moment, a gratitude moment of just being alive as a human. Okay, so they're saying that we have been in their presence, in their resonance field now for over an hour. They can travel quite quickly to the higher spheres where they reside. So we're going to move fairly quickly. And in your imagination, I'd like you to stretch your hand out, and an invisible hand takes your hand. It's an invisible mentor. And like Peter Pan and Wendy, this invisible hand is pulling you up. You're flying together. So I'd love you to have some fun and imagine that you are flying, holding this hand. For some reason, this being is invisible. So you're just flying higher and higher. And as we're flying higher and higher, we're kind of being pulled up through membranes of energy as we are flying up and up and up and up through these kind of viscous membranes of energy, layers of energy. Keep going, everyone. Switch on your imagination. Have fun with this. Imagine it's an invisible angel pulling you up. But their hand, the sensation of their hand in your hand, is everything. Keep that sensation real. Keep the feeling of lifting and being pulled up real. Just flying up fast through all of these membranes of energy. Wow. And above us is like a vast force field, and it's almost as though it's a spaceship of light in an allegorical, metaphorical way. And that invisible being with their hand in your hand is very, very gently guiding you up now into this vast force field of light. Very much like an electromagnetic spaceship just made of light. And you come to a standstill in the middle of this spaceship. And that invisible hand slips out of your hand, but stays close to you, this being. And in front of you is a semicircle of beings, just for a moment. This is just like a welcoming committee, I'm being told. And they are sending, all of them, oh my gosh, are sending a ray of light straight into you. And this is like a moment of healing. So very much like scalpels of light, if you could say. These rays of light are going straight into you and doing super fast, exponentially quickly, shifting, rewiring. Just allow these beams of light to move around wherever they need to go inside of you. I'd love you to switch on the visual of this. Turn on pretend mode, guys. Don't worry about seeing it clearly, but absolutely, actively go into pretend mode, because this is your entrance door into the spirit world. Imagination, pretend. It's a two-way video screen. Turn on your imagination. Have some fun here. Really fast upgrade. Some of these light beams are going into your brain, into your throat, traveling into the chakras, but not just the front chakras, the back chakras at the same time. Doing a fast, comprehensive swishing around. Wherever it touches, it's clearing, transmuting, upgrading. This is all in preparation. Beautiful gift for today, doing a little healing here. So now standing behind this semicircle of beings that are doing this work on you is a very tall being. I'm sort of getting this impression that it's got robes. This being has got robes. Can't see it very clearly, but this is a creator being. I'd love you to switch on your imagination and just sense any kind of visuals that you get about this being. Wow, so powerful, so beautiful, the presence of this being. Now, your beautiful semicircle of healer beings are just parting and standing to one side and allowing this being to come forward towards you. And again, this is a creator being, very high overseer, layers of the worlds of spirit, overseers of universe, the level of, I'm using that word at the moment, clout, the level of authority is very high. So there's a ton of power here. And when we're in front of a creator being like this, it's not tangible. It's not as tangible as some of the spirit beings that are closer to the physical dimension. So it's just soft, gentle energy, subtle energy, loving energy, just a presence. And as you're standing there, a column of light comes down, very Star Trek style. A column of light comes down and surrounds you. And you dissolve into this column of light. So your human form suddenly disappears. Inside the column of light, and you become the column of light. It's an interesting sensation to disappear and dissolve and become the light. And suddenly there's a truly vast explosion of light from the center. Massive starburst of light. That column that you are just disappears and changes into this starburst of light. Giant explosion of light. I'd like you to hold that moment Just hold it. Allow it to be just this constantly exploding light. Just keep that going for a moment. Freeze frame on the experience of the explosion. Just let it keep going. As you're putting your attention on this exploding light that you are, a lot of things are happening. I'm being told that new software is being downloaded into you in the state of you being an exploding light. In the state, they can work and interact with some of your lower energy fields more easily, meaning that they can download upgraded software into you much more easily in the state of this exploding starburst. And that's what they're doing behind the scenes. So keep switching on the imagination that you're a huge starburst of light, just bursting, exploding. It's quite dynamic. It's quite a challenge in a way for our human brains to go, okay, I'm an exploding light. But that's what they're asking for us to do. And they're saying that the practice of this, by the way, excellent practice, because that's what you are in the worlds of spirit, this emanating force of light. That is what you are. So in a way, you're coming home to yourself. And this creator being, compassionately, knowing what they're doing, they're stepping forward towards you and step into this exploding light and become it with you. So they're merging with you. And their energy, which is a larger exploding light, starburst, and you have merged. Let's hold that for a moment. This is interesting. So interesting. I'm being told that really deep sadnesses on a soul level are being pulled out of you in this moment. So there's this compassionate activity going on. It's like it's being siphoned out of you, which is so compassionate on their part. We're just going to stay here just for one tiny moment longer. So really soak it in, really feel it. Allow yourself to just love it. Love this experience of being merged with the creator being in this full explosion of light. Feel the joy, feel the harmony, feel the love, feel the sanctity. And now very gently, everyone, taking just a gentle, gentle breath in, and then gently let that breath out. And we're just closing this portal. And it's almost like you're stepping out of a force field. You're just stepping back out of a force field and back into your human self. One or two more of these deep, gentle breaths in and gently letting it out. So we're coming back into our bodies. Oh my gosh. And it's like a little door closes, and that whole experience has just released out. So, everyone, your electromagnetic fields just then have had a serious upgrade, a very powerful upgrade. You may be a little bit tired tomorrow. Good that some of you are going to be going to sleep tonight. That was very important.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My heart is wide open. My heart is wide open. And I just feel so much, I just feel so much love for everything, Alicia. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that everyone is feeling similar to me. If anyone's feeling tired, that's a good sign too, I suppose. Let's be gentle with ourselves. Calling the creator beings always in our lives is very important and practical, actually. So thank you, Alicia. This is really always so mind expanding and heart opening with you. And we have shifted. You've done incredible work. Thank you for tirelessly sharing this wisdom. Really, it's important right now as we navigate our way. And yet we feel stronger because we have stronger awareness of the choice points, left and right, this way, that way, up, down. It's really fear or love, shadow or light. So wow, a lot to take in here and integrate into our systems, but I just want to thank you for elevating us today, and I thank the creator beings as well.
Thank
Cool.
you, Lorraine. Thank you, Lorraine. Yeah, let's just see if they've got one final thought for all of us. They're just saying, everyone, remember, they were talking about that choice point, as you're saying, Lorraine, that there's an envelope of love now around helping elevate that choice point.
Yes.
So they are actively, this is their words, they are actively forming that around humanity.
See, that just makes me want to cry. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
So we partner with them. I will be a partner. You're a partner. All of us are partners. Come on, people. We got this. Okay.
It's very important to know, and they're saying it's seamless, right? They create it seamlessly so that humanity feels like it's making its own decisions. And they're saying, yeah, and they're saying they have the ability to do this. It's easy for them. That's their words. It's easy
Okay.
for them to form the force field. It's like a cocoon that helps everyone stabilize to make the decisions.
Yes, I am being taken back to Lemuria right now and sensing that, okay, something's coming up here. So it's really important. I just want to again go back to what you mentioned in the beautiful courses that you have. And I want to just say those are priced like less than a chiropractor appointment. And it's like a thousand chiropractor appointments, each of those packages, but there was a module that talked about the past life wound. And so that is going to be very eye-opening. And what I'm sensing right now is a past life wound in Lemuria where I won't go too much into it right now, but that experiment of Lemuria, if we want to call it an experiment or a lifetime, when we brought in the laggards to do this. And maybe you've got a different thing on it, but when we brought in, and I feel responsible for that because anyway, I see I'm very emotional from this force field of love. So there's something being healed within me, and I thank you for that. But anyway, it does take me back to that line. I'm feeling that healing. It takes me back to that Lemurian sense of responsibility. But look at where we are right now. And so this force field of love that we thought Lemuria would help that last transition through the last great shift, we can do it now. I really believe we can do it now. Are your thoughts similar to that? That we can, by putting our attention in this awareness that yes, we can do it for humanity this time around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
What you're doing, Loren, is atonement.
Yes.
What a massive rubber band getting stretched back of power in this lifetime and force of intention,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
For you.
Yes.
Many of us have been involved in cataclysms and opening doorways for the laggards. Laggards, I sort of don't use that word, but it's like interesting. So many of us have been involved in various different scenarios. And that's why there's a precision in our work in this
Mhm.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Massive precision, unerring precision.
Unerring and determination and commitment. Dream on.
And
On.
willingness to show up, and willingness to lead, and willingness to hold the space, and willingness to
Yeah.
partner with serious teams in the worlds of spirit to
Yeah.
intervene. You
Yes.
see, it needs more than humans. It needs knowledge. It needs spirit knowledge. It needs partnerships with spirit, with massive knowledge, but also authority, much higher than the laggards. So,
Yes.
so that
Yes.
that authority arrives and acknowledges all the dynamics, respectfully acknowledges it, and then moves it into the next stage or the next calm or the next softness. They use these really simple human words into the next softness. Yeah.
So beautiful. And so that is where all of us right here in this gathering, even those who watch the replays, Elisa, you always get thousands of people watching your replays. So even more than what was on here in this live event will be including their energy in our big dream here. Look at my dog is trying to climb onto my lap right now. She wants to be a part of this too. So we've got this. And that to me just warms my heart all over. And I'm so grateful for every heart for being here. We have our marching orders and we do it with love and we do it with light. And for this, I am grateful for everyone doing this. And I truly hope that we can feel the shift that is underway by all of us partnering in this way. Incredible, important work. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your love and your light. Remember this feeling, remember this capsule of love, and choose it in all ways. Alicia, as we say goodbye, I want to give you a moment for final thoughts. Thank you.
Well, as you were speaking just then, I was going to suggest to everyone to jump into this replay, to
Mm,
this moment of this spirit journey with these creator beings and spend time in that infusion, because it'll transform your life. That's straight from the creator beings telling you that. Because the more you do it, soaking in it, give yourself that permission to be there many times, your electromagnetic fields will change. and your consciousness will change. Your remembrance of yourself will change. That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to your remembering and your soul light of love and grace, peace and harmony. We are doing it, everyone. Remember this in all ways, and we love you always in all ways. We love you too, Alicia and the creator beings. We're so grateful for this experience today. Thank you, everyone, for your light. Thank you, Alicia. And we wish you all namaste. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.